Welcome back to Let's Get Cooking. It's your girl Rashida. And today, guess what we're making, y'all? Loaded mashed potatoes. Not just your plain mashed potatoes, but we are loading these fellas up with some extra fun goodies. Loaded mashed potatoes. Let's get started. Alright, first things first, I'm popping in some bacon real quick in the air fryer. While that's cooking, I'm going to start peeling my potatoes. I'm using 6 medium red potatoes right here, and I'm just going to peel these and then give them a good dice. Alright, so much for that potato peeler. It wasn't going as fast as I needed it to go, so I'm moving over to the knife. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut the skin off the potatoes. Something about red potatoes, you can use the skin. You know, there are some mashed potatoes that have some of that red skin still in them. And if done right, they still taste good. All right, now that my potatoes are peeled, it's time to just go ahead and cut them basically into about 1 square inch pieces as evenly as possible so that they will cook evenly at the same time. So right here, you'll just see me giving my potatoes a nice cut, preparing them for the water, then preparing them for the pot. So homemade loaded mashed potatoes coming right up. I know when I go to a restaurant, every once in a while, I just want a good old loaded baked potato. That means with all the fixings, it's going to have the butter, sour cream, bacon, hopefully scallions, green onions. That's loaded. That's what we're doing right here. So now for the potatoes, I'm just going to put these in water and just clean off some of that extra starch before they go into the pot. So I'm just giving my potatoes a good old bath and rinsing them off. And next step is to start working on some of those extra added ingredients that will be going into the loaded mashed potatoes. First up is cheese. Everybody, well, not everybody, but most people do like a little cheese in their loaded mashed potatoes or on their loaded potato. So I'm just shredding up a cup of cheese right here. I'm using sharp cheddar, but you can definitely use whatever cheese you prefer. Sharp cheddar works for me. That was an easy shred right there. Just about a cup and a half, depending on how much you want to use. And now I'm just finely slicing up my green onions. And I'm going to say I'm about to use about a third of a cup of scallions, green onions. So I'm just giving those a very fine slice. That bacon, that's what I prepared at the beginning. So I have 4 slices of bacon and I'm just going to give those a rough chop. So that's my bacon. I have my green onions and my cheese. I just want to put everything in a central area on the same plate. And these are most of the ingredients, the add-ins into the loaded mashed potatoes. All that goodness, all that flavor. And here's a little bit of everything that's going in: the butter, the sour cream. I have milk, potatoes, and the fixings. Now for my pot of water, putting a nice amount of salt in this pot of water. You don't bring it to a boil. I want to put my potatoes in the pot right now. So I put the salt in, then I'm adding in all the potatoes. And then I'm going to bring those to like a medium high heat. Cook them for about 20 to 25 minutes to their fork tender, but not too mushy. And then that's when we'll take them out the pot. Okay, all the potatoes have been added to the water, but as you see, that water rose a little too much for me. We only need water right above the potatoes, so I'm just pouring some off in the sink. That's where we want the water level, right there. So now time to cook the potatoes, like I said, about 20-25 minutes until they're fork tender. In the meantime, I have some milk, about a half a cup of milk right here, and I'm going to use a stick of butter. I just want to melt these or bring them down to just like a warm temperature. not cold at all. We don't want to put cold milk or butter into the potatoes, so I'm just going to heat those up in the microwave for about 30 seconds. Back to the potatoes. They are just about done. Giving those a quick test. They look good. They've been cooking for that amount of time, that 20-25 minutes. So I'm going to strain them. At this moment, you could take a fork and you can just put the fork through. If they break easily, they're ready to be strained. So I'm going to drain the water off the potatoes, as you will see. And I'm just using my little strainer, colander, whatever you want to use. Oh, I kept this in just so you can see the reality. That pot was heavy. The pot fell out my hand, but mission accomplished. The potatoes are drained. And then I take the drained potatoes, put them back into the pot, put them back in the pot, and we're almost through. So adding the potatoes back in, you can definitely turn down your burner, your fire to a low heat if there's any extra water. We want that to evaporate because we want dry potatoes. I'm taking my potato masher and I'm going to start mashing my potatoes right here as you see. But right after that, it's time to add in the milk and the butter. You can also use heavy cream, buttermilk. Those are some alternatives. Once again, I'm using about a half cup of milk, a third to a half cup of milk, and a stick of butter for these 6 medium potatoes. And just want to give that a mash. Keep on mashing them actually. That's the rest of the milk and butter that's going in. I know it looks a little loose now, but all that liquid will evaporate. But we want it at this consistency right now. And I'm going to try to get as many of the lumps out as possible, but it's not going to be completely smooth. I don't mind a couple lumps in my mashed potatoes. How about you? Adding in salt and pepper, you know the potatoes are bland, so they need a good amount of salt and some pepper for that extra added flavor. And any other seasonings that you like to put in your potatoes, feel free. I just use salt and pepper. Works fine for me. All right, those are looking good. Now it's about time to add in the fixings. As you see, I am mashing as much as I can. Get them as smooth as I can. You need to let me know in the comments. Drop, what do you like on your loaded potato? What do you like in potatoes? What do you like in mashed potatoes? How do you fix them? All right, it's time to first add in the sour cream. I'm doing 2 nice tablespoons, 2 heavy heaping tablespoons of sour cream. First things first. Next in, we're adding that trio. We're adding the cheese, we're adding the green onions, and then we're going to add the bacon. So basically, we're just pouring everything in here like a nice little melting pot. All that's flavor. So once I stir these up, all that flavor is going to be infused into the potatoes, and it's going to taste so good. It's going to taste like a loaded potato. I promise you. Maybe, I think a little bit better actually. But this is the mashed variety. So there goes my bacon, the cheese, the green onions, the sour cream, the butter and milk are already in there. And you're just going to watch me fold this in, stir this in till everything is well combined. You're going to see the cheese melt. And then we're going to be pretty much at the end of these excellent, delicious loaded mashed potatoes. They go with a good steak, grilled chicken, a hamburger, fish. It's a great side dish to whatever you want to pair it up with, or just some veggies for my vegetarians. People who don't really prefer meat, well, you might want to leave the bacon out, but it's definitely a great side dish to any meal. All right, y'all, giving this the last little bit of a stir, and there it is. The loaded mashed potatoes are complete. Thanks for coming to the kitchen. Thanks for cooking with me. Until the next time, have a blessed day and a blessed week. And remember to subscribe, y'all. Subscribe right now. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.